Tennis is a sport that has had some interesting characters over the years, from "You Cannot Be Serious," which has been parodied so many times to death, more times than John McEnroe actually said the phrase, to a teary-eyed Andy Murray losing the Wimbledon final in 2012. But now someone Andy Murray coaches in Novak Djokovic, his co-founded players union, is trying to sue the established world order of tennis. The Professional Tennis Players Association, the PTPA, which was founded in 2021, co-founded by Novak Djokovic, has started legal action against the sport's governance. It cites its mission to protect players and put safeguards in place to support them, and has filed a lawsuit with the US District of New York. The governing bodies are being accused of acting like cartels, stifling competition outside the established system. But what is the established system of tennis? Well, there are 4 organizations we need to know about, 4 that we're about to learn about: the ATP, the WTA, the ITF, and the ITIA. What do these 4 organizations do? Well, let's start with the most famous of the 4, the Association of Tennis Professionals. The ATP runs the men's professional tour, including all 4 Grand Slams, whilst its women's equivalent is the Women's Tennis Association, the WTA. These 2 are the most important organizations in professional tennis and are effectively promoters that make up the commercial side of the sport. They aren't, however, the world governing bodies. That would be the International Tennis Federation, the ITF, founded in 1913, and it enforces the rules of the game, partnering with the professional tours and oversees their integrity. The ITF does run its own competitions, such as the Davis Cup, which is effectively a World Cup of tennis for men, its female equivalent, the Billie Jean King Cup, plus its mixed teams version, the Hopman Cup. The ITF also regulates tennis events at the Olympic Games on behalf of the IOC and the Paralympic Games on behalf of the IPC. It also runs circuits for junior tennis, amateur men's and women's, plus wheelchair and beach tennis, as well as maintaining the world rankings for the sport. The final organization listed under the lawsuit is the ITIA, the International Tennis Integrity Agency. This organization has the responsibility from the ITF to enforce its anti-doping policy and investigate match-fixing allegations. It has the power to ban players, impose fines and sanctions for players, tennis officials and umpires. It's also important to note that though the ITIA enforces the game on behalf of the International Tennis Federation, the International Tennis Integrity Agency is itself an independent organization from all other bodies associated with the sport of tennis, including the International Tennis Federation. So why are all these organizations being sued? Well, in its 163-page complaint to the state of New York, 12 former and current players are listed, and it has critiques for each of the organizations, so we'll go through them now. Starting with the main 3, that is the ATP, WTA, and the ITF. They accuse it of running a monopolist system that doesn't allow for new competitions to emerge, which it feels eerily similar to the complaint made by certain golf players towards the PGA Tour when the Saudi-backed Live Golf Series emerged as a rival and offered more money to players. The same could happen in tennis. However, if we search beyond the surface level of the lawsuit, it accuses these bodies of manipulating prize money, creating a rigged economic system to keep player payouts artificially low, which is the description I'll be using whenever anyone asks me to describe capitalism going forward. In the lawsuit, a noted example is Larry Ellison, the owner of the Indian Wells Open. He wanted to, according to the lawsuit, increase the prize money, but was, according to the plaintiff, blocked from doing so by the ATP and WTA regulations. This is a noted example of the governing bodies preventing tournament and court owners from bidding for the best talent to play at their tournaments. The professional rankings are also a point of contention in this suit because ranking points can only be won by competing in events registered with the ATP and WTA, meaning those that play in alternative competitions do not earn ranking points to compete at Grand Slam events. Often the ATP and WTA will have non-compete clauses for players to prevent them turning up in the middle of nowhere and playing for big money. The president of the PTPA, that's the Professional Tennis Players Association, Ahmed Nasir, also highlights player safety as a growing concern, with players having to play in sweltering conditions or late at night. The examples given are recent Australian Open tournaments for heat and late night games at the US Open. Moving on from the main three organisations to the plaintiffs' issue with the ITIA, accusing them of invading player privacy and their rights through its anti-doping and anti-corruption practices. The PTPA claim they have exhausted all other options and that a legal challenge is all they have left in the arsenal. This sort of thing has historic precedent, with US sports leagues seemingly suing each other all the time. The MLB has undergone major reform because of its reserve clause, which was challenged in court, and the fight for free agency status in professional basketball and American football. Even in Europe, we've seen this style of lawsuit. Think of football's own battle for free agency status in the Bosman ruling. It's claimed by the plaintiffs that this isn't just about money, which I'm sure it isn't, with players playing in some unacceptable conditions. However, on one point, I think I see a flaw in their argument, and it's in regards to competition, because unless I'm missing their point, if the non-compete regulation wasn't in place, then courts and tournament owners would just be outbidding each other to secure the best talent, and it would surely become a race to the bottom where all the big players end up playing in some oil-rich state in the Middle East for the biggest prizes, leaving scraps for everyone else and endangering the integrity of the tour. Should players that leave the professional tour play at Wimbledon or the French Open at Roland Garros? This is a debate not too dissimilar of what happened in golf, and that has somewhat healed itself, although it hasn't fully healed. What do you think? Is it time for the status quo of tennis to be torn up and replaced by a new order? Or is your thinking that it's tradition that got us here and that must be protected from alternative forces that are more about money and sports washing than the integrity of the sport itself? Leave your thoughts in the comments below.